Hello and welcome to another Star Citizen podcast. It is the 28th of May 2024. I am the adorable BoredGamer and I'm here with the lovely Zinnia. Say hello, end of May, lovely Zinnia.
Hello, end of May, lovely Zinnia.
Yes, so it is the end of May. I'm going to be talking about the end of Fleet Week and what that means, and a really quick roundup of that. A little bit about the Ironclad, the Hornet Mark 1's retiring, the funding that CIG have got so far in 2024, because it was really far down, but now it looks like it's actually leveled out. And we've got a 3.23.1a patch and a 3.23.2 patch on the way, and we're moving on into June. So we'll be talking about all of that and whatever else we fancy. How are you doing, Zin?
I'm alright, mate. How are you?
I'm alright, mate. It's obviously, we had a bank holiday Monday, which is why we were having our podcast effectively on a Tuesday. And bank holiday Monday is when everyone goes, oh, let's have a lovely rest. Except for me, who has to work more because some people are taking a rest.
I mean, you could have the day off if you really wanted to. I'm sure nobody would mind.
I would mind, Zin. My bank balance would mind. No, it's more seriously, I like working. And I like to be busy. If I'm not busy, I am bored. And I don't want to be a bored gamer. No. Yes, other normal humans are allowed to rest and have holidays. That is fine. But it's the end of Fleet Week. And on the 29th at 11 p.m. UTC, it's over. It's done.
No more.
No more. Well, until next year. So you can get all the ships and vehicles that were sort of shown off. Until then, you may be able to buy the other ships that were new for a bit longer, like the Medivac, the Firebird, the MPUV Tractor. Yeah, I'm expecting them to be on sales for a bit longer. There are some special Warbond specials, and yeah, you can rent everything that was available from the Drake Defense Con halls. So if you want to try out the Valkyrie or whatever, go there and rent out those ships. You get them for 48 hours, I believe. Did you have any favourite ships or vehicles of the new stuffs in from the Medivac Firebird or MPUV Tractor? So in the new flyable ones?
No, but I do like the tractor. I'm kind of with you with the whole. If this is the way that the MPUV's going, then it's good that the cargo won the ship showdown because it's actually quite a useful ship.
Yeah, so that's the thing. The MPUV Tractor basically makes the rest of the MPUV series. They went, it's actually going to be modular. You can detach the pods underneath. And really, the MPUV is this platform for doing loads of utility things that big ships might struggle with. And that, for me, that's amazing. You've got tractor beams on it, on the tractor version anyway, and you can put cargo, like a big 16 SCU cargo container underneath it, or you can put the actual cargo pod or the personnel pod. Those two pods from the other versions of the MPUV will be coming and being added later to the tractor. But yeah. I'm glad you said that because it genuinely excites me. I know that you like the Medivac, or at least I'm led to believe that anything medical you want.
Yeah.
Which is why I sent you a tractor and I sent you a Medivac.
Yeah.
So Zin and I are planning to do medical rescue, be that, I was going to say hot medical rescue, but I mean in hot zones rather than us wearing the most attractive armors that we can find. Something I want to say about the Firebird. The Firebird's actually had a buff already.
Yes.
So
I was reading your notes.
Yeah. So I believe that it's harder to see it, so its signature reduction has been increased from 20 to 40%. Now, signature reduction being increased, I think that means it is harder. Yeah, it is harder to see because I'm seeing people actually fight with them. So it's even harder to detect now.
Wait, it says it's been corrected.
Yeah, because I don't think it was the same as the Saber Ravens, and it was supposed to be.
Right.
So that should now be appropriate for it. And that means it's very hard to see. It's also got twice the amount of missiles now. So it's got basically tubes for 12, but it's now got 24, so it's got a whole reload. And this makes it quite a good missile fighter, being stealthy and because it can sort of hang around on the edges of combat and fire a load of missiles. You're like, oh, missiles! Where are they coming from? And it's got a load of missiles now. So what do you think about that? So typically these ships would be debuffed after release, after people had bought them, not buffed during sale.
Maybe it didn't sell good enough.
Maybe it didn't sell good enough. I mean, I think it was an
we need to make it
underwhelming...
more lucrative.
Maybe people... It's quite possible. People literally going, well, actually, why wouldn't we buy these other missile fighters at that sort of price point? And they went, no, you're right. Why would you? I know why. Because we'll make it... Well, it was supposed to be that stealthy. It was supposed to be as stealthy as the sort of Saber Raven and the extra missiles. I think it kind of makes sense because otherwise it's just like one and done almost. It hasn't got much stamina, and we wanted it to be a fighter, not a sort of dive bomber.
Yeah. Things I like because I'm bad at fighting, at like dogfighting and stuff. I like my ship to be quite tanky.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. I'm of the same persuasion. I either want to be in a bigger ship with turret gunners, or me being a turret gunner so I don't have to worry so much, or in something tanky like an F8. But what do you think of as stealth as tank? So, as in, if you're not just not being detected, is that a good enough shield for you, or you're like, no, I'm worried about being detected. I need to be a tough nut to crack.
I would be too worried that it won't work, or they'll manage to do something and detect me, and then I'm dead.
Stealth anxiety you get.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I think I'm of a similar persuasion there. Something I did want to talk about as well is the Ironclad. So I'm not sure how much you know about the Ironclad, Zin.
I mean, I watched the Inside Star Citizen.
Cool. So that gives you a pretty big overview of it. The standard Ironclad freighter is available for like $400 to $450. So it's not cheap, but it's not incredibly expensive compared to some of the other ships from Star Citizen. It's got a like 1500 plus SCU space. It's got its openable top. It's this really cool armored freighter, and I think a lot of people are going to really, really like it. People are already saying, "Oh, we're going to use it as a carrier. We're going to because you can have loads of stuff going on with this. It's going to be great for cargo transport in more dangerous areas. It's got loads of guns on it. Yeah, it's got an openable top, so you could use it as a hangar for stuff. What do you think of that sort of idea?
Yeah, good. I mean, how good of a carrier is it? Like what? I can't remember what they said they could fit in it.
Well, exactly. So the standard Ironclad, we're not sure how good a carrier that's going to be because it's around 1500 SCU, but you'd have to work out exactly what you could fit in there and what could get out of the hangar. But it'd be reasonably big. I mean, you'd easily be able to get like a heavy fighter in there, or several fighters or whatever. You might not be able to get them all out simultaneously without moving them and like jostling them. It looks pretty good for that. Now, there is another version of it as well, the Ironclad Assault. This is much more interesting for potentially being a light assault carrier because it's mainly built for ground vehicles. So it can fit 4 Nova tanks in it, at least. And it's got a repair bay as well for rearm, repair and refuel, and a fabricator for fabricating components. So you can find broken vehicles and literally rescue them and overhaul them and get them working again in this thing, or repair your vehicles that have been damaged. Now, it's a bit more, it's like, I think it's $465 to $535 between that. It went up by $10 randomly from $525 to $535 for store credit. Not sure entirely why.
Okay.
Which is the first time CIG have done that. Obviously, it was a price correction. They'd got it wrong, but I think they should have kept it at $525 because...
just deal with it.
Yeah, just deal with it. You have to inform the community if you're going to raise prices. That's what we expect. I know it's only $10, but yeah. So this is interesting, this Ironclad Assault, because yeah, it's got a better ramp for letting ground vehicles off. So that would imply that the standard Ironclad, the door might be too small for Nova tanks to go through. But we don't know whether the roof opens on the Ironclad Assault in the same way it does with the Ironclad. Which means the Ironclad Assault might not be appropriate for a light assault carrier for ships. It might only be appropriate for ground vehicles. Although, looking at the pictures, it looks like the top is the same, with the same markings, so I would expect it to also open. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it will.
Basically made of shutters, right?
Yeah, I think it will. Like, why wouldn't you keep it?
Well, so, I mean, why wouldn't you, to differentiate the two, have better armour there or something like that? But I suppose, although it's a more military version, it's still able to carry and will carry cargo, right? So you still want that open top nature. But I just thought it was interesting. One of the other interesting things that I thought about it was that it appears that it has interior turrets as well for defense, or at least one interior turret. So assumedly you're in like sort of like the little control room that it's got, and you can just take control of that and shoot borders, or when the roof's open you can shoot out ?
Yeah.
But that's the first time that we've seen a turret that might be able to do damage to your own ship.
Yes.
So the others specifically avoid your ship where possible. So they could like go on an outline and they're built so that they don't hit your own ship. But if it's an internal turret, you're going to be able to shoot yourself. Stop shooting yourself. Maybe
it's just got ammo that can only penetrate bodies and not ship armor.
Anti-personnel. Yeah, no, you might be right. That's quite a possibility, right? It might be very low caliber or something like that. Also, it might be like, oh no, actually that internal turret is actually a tractor beam, and we didn't say.
Why would you have an internal tractor beam?
For managing your cargo. It's a big cargo hold.
Yeah, I suppose.
So the other thing is that the standard Ironclad freighter looks like it's got 2 tractor beams, but the Assault doesn't appear to have those tractor beams. There is going to be a QA within the next couple of weeks explaining a little bit more what's going on, and hopefully they'll answer the question of, well, does the Assault have any tractor beams at all, and does the Assault have an openable roof? Because that's really what I want to know. Not that it's a huge deal breaker, it just means that I'd want an Ironclad freighter for a light carrier rather than the Ironclad Assault, which is then a dropship. Yeah, do you like these? Do you think they're cool?
Yeah, I think they're cool.
Is it something you'd want to own, or would you prefer to, if someone went, you can have any cargo ship you want, would this be on your list, or would you be like, nah, I want a hull C, or I want a hull E?
I'd have something smaller.
You'd have something smaller?
Something more for just one person.
Okay, something that you could manage with one person. Gotcha.
Can you manage a D or an E on your own? So,
yes. If you get into any form of combat or some of the components degrade while you're flying, then you're going to be having a bad time. Because you're going to need to run around this massive ship doing replacing fuses, or if you're in combat, as soon as you take damage, you're kind of screwed. So, yes, but it's not advised. In the same way, could a single person, a captain, a giant aircraft carrier in real life? Yeah. Yeah, they could. It's not advised.
But yeah, if I got into cargo hauling, I'd be like a man in a van sort of jobby.
Okay, so you're thinking something like internal or external cargo. So are you talking something like a hull A or B, or are you going, well, actually, I want a van, so I've got internal cargo space. So maybe like a Cutlass, or what you thinking?
I don't know, either or. But okay. Just more, I won't be doing big hauls. I'll just be doing like, oh hey, you're moving planet, let me help you. Maybe
you want a raft. I was in. You want to be a man in a van. That's what we're gonna we'll do a series one day of seeing a man in a van. Right. Let's talk about the Hornet Mark 1s retiring. This is something I didn't expect, Sin.
Yeah.
All of the Hornet Mark 1s are being retired from in-game shops and the website store. So you're not going to be able to buy it anymore. And you're still going to be able to, it's still going to be supported in-game. It's still going to be an in-game ship. I believe it's actually super important for Squadron 42. It's one of the reasons for it. And they're still going to give it a gold standard pass, and they're going to balance it in the future and things like that. What do you think of that, though, it being retired from effectively service in-game for the most part?
I think it's cool.
Yeah? Why? I'm curious.
Well, it's the same thing as they've said. The chassis not going to stay around forever. Like, with cars, you can't, the car doesn't look the same through its entire lifespan. So they'll release new versions.
But so there's a difference between, I suppose, a new version, a new mark, because it's effectively a new hull, right? They go, the Mark II is a new ship. It shares the Hornet name, but it is a new ship. And that's different from, I suppose, updating ships to be an entirely new version which replaces. So if they'd gone, well, actually, the Hornets being Mark 1s, we're replacing them with the Hornet Mark II entirely and updating all of the Mark 1s to Mark II. That's a bit different, right? So obviously they did that with the 300 series. They went, old 300 series, we're replacing it with a new 300 series. All 300s are being updated to this new model.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I think it's cool as well. I love the idea of different marks of ship. I just think it's weird that they're not selling it in-game anymore. Why not sell the Mark 1? Because
manufacturers don't sell Celikas anymore, you know?
But why retire it from the store as well, from the out-of-game store?
Because you'd only get it second-hand now.
Well, I mean, the Idrises and stuff, they sell them in limited quantity. I mean, why not sell it in limited quantity? I see what you're saying.
No, it's a different thing. It's a completely different thing.
No, that's fair. I suppose that's the vibe they want to give as well, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a collector's item.
Yeah.
It's limited time to get it. They did say, yes, you will be able to get them in-game in the future somehow. And this could be through reputation or for playing Squadron 42. Lots of different potential ways of getting it. But yeah, I just think it was really interesting. And the Mark II, they will be making the Mark II Ghost, Mark II Tracker, and Mark II Super Hornet as well. Because a lot of people thought they were just going to be replacing the Hornets with this new Mark II, and they just have in a different way. So the Mark I's still available to use in game, and will be available to get in game somehow. Just retiring for being bought with money, and it's just an interesting one. It's just an interesting one. So if you want to buy one, you've got until the end of Fleet Week, I think. I'm sort of interested to know what people think about that. Fleet Week funding's in.
Yes.
On the RSI website, it says 700 million has been raised, but if you count sponsorships and private investments and subs and refunds, it's a lot more than that. It's over 850 million, I think. It's getting quite close to $1 billion. It's obviously going to be used. Lots of headlines are going to be like 700 million raised because they're just going to go from the store tracking funding tracker there. So funding had been down in 2024 compared to the last couple of years by about 20%. And I was like, ooh, maybe we're going to have a slower year for Star Citizen funding. May, however, has been the most successful Fleet Week they've ever done. And I didn't think it was going to be, but it is. I think they've, by the time you see this, it will be over 22 million they've made during May. And that's a lot of money to make in a single month. It's not the sort of same amount of money as they make during sort of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo and CitizenCon sort of time combined. But it's like the second largest amount of money they make in a year, and this is the largest they've ever made for Fleet Week. So what do you think of that? Did you expect them to continue to sort of break records and actually potentially, I mean, by the end of the month, they might have made more money than previous years. What do you think of that?
Well, for one, Fleet Week has run longer than usual, hasn't it? Or am I mistaken here?
It might have. It might have been a couple of days longer. It's either exactly the same length or a couple of days longer.
Yeah.
You might be right.
And I do think more people are interested in like getting into Star Citizen. People like who've just been sitting on accounts are probably more looking at Star Citizen now.
Yeah, lots of people that have previously signed up to like the free flies and stuff like that or have bought in but haven't really played. We were also seeing loads of larger streamers and content creators check out Star Citizen and quite enjoy it.
Yeah.
So you just think that Star Citizen's got a little bit of a snowballing nature, and well, they're obviously going to make more money year on year now because more and more people are getting interested.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, no, that's fair. I was surprised that they're making quite so much money still, but because I thought post-COVID world everything's going to slow down a bit. It appears that Star Citizen continues to speed up, even though a lot of the other sort of games in the world are closing studios and slowing down. It's weird, but it's magic. Maybe Star Citizen is an SCP 4242. 3.23.1 new patch. Oh no, it's because it's the A patch, Sin. It's got a little A after it.
Oh, I see.
So this patch probably going live later this week. It contains the Firebird doubling its missile count to 24. The Firebird's signature reduction is been made proper there. And the Retaliator turrets have been upgraded to size 3 laser repeaters and had the problems fixed with their dead zone. I think it's fixing a load of other bugs and dupe issues and things like this as well. I think the ground vehicle updates are in here as well to make tanks and anything wheeled work a bit better. But I just wanted to mention that because it's a cool little patch, and I like CIG fixing things as quick as they can and sort of correcting stuff like that. But this then leads on to the 3.23.2 patch that I do want to talk about, because CIG have gone, we're working on 3.23.2 patch, and it's the cargo patch. This is what a lot of people, they saw this as the core part of the 3.23 cycle. It contains persistent hangars, freight elevators, item banks, and potentially the cargo hauling missions. So this sort of stuff excite you? Does the idea of having a persistent hangar that you can effectively customize, potentially there's going to be a load of customization items here, like couches and flare items and stuff like that you can put in to your hangar and set it up as a base? Or are you like, Yeah? Not...
Yeah.
Is bases something that do appeal to you when you actually have a proper base?
Yeah, and I can actually build a base and
okay.
model it as I want.
Yeah, gotcha. There's a load of cool features with this, though. So the ability to spawn your ship in the hangar that you're actually standing in, and it comes out of the ground, goes back into the ground there. That's cool, because for bases, they'll probably use the same system, so you can actually have underground hangars in your bases. It would be my expectation. Freight elevators, that changes the cargo loop so much. So this is either going to make people love cargo or hate cargo, or maybe not care about it at all. So freight elevators basically go, now you need to manually move your cargo from the freight elevator to your ship, from your ship to the cargo elevator to do your cargo transport. Is that sort of stuff, do you think that's cool? Or do you think that's just time consuming and fiddly?
I think, well, obviously it will be time consuming and fiddly, but I think it's necessary.
Yeah, you will be able to do this all automated and just pay to have it done for you. So in the future, bear that in mind. I think it's going to really affect the way the cargo gameplay goes. But, is it really going to be annoying the people that... So, I'm going to do my cargo gameplay loop. I buy my cargo, I travel to here, I sell my cargo. That's your loop, okay? It's not necessarily the most engaging loop in the world. And now, if you've got to move stuff up as well, you're like, I hate having to use my mouse while I play. Like, it's a lot more tactile. In the future, you will be able to pay to have it automated if you want to be super efficient, or, I don't know, maybe super efficient is putting your cargo in your hold super efficiently and then being able to take it out manually yourself and make the most money. I just thought people would want to know about that. I'm not 100% sure if cargo hauling missions are going to be in that patch or not. I do believe they're planned for 3.23 as part of the cycle, but we don't 100% know yet. A lot of people super excited for those cargo updates. They are pretty big. Item banks just sort of allow you to move around FPS items at landing zones. You go up to a wall, beep, 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 take your FPS items out, put your FPS items in. Sort of essential item management. But cargo is super physicalized, basically, from that patch onwards. Other stuff that we're getting, assumedly around that time, Xenothreat's going to be running. So phase 6 of the Overdrive Initiative. Are you excited for this? This is probably... It's a Xenothreat and Siege of Origin are my favourite events by far. I absolutely love them. But I think Xenothreat's my favourite. And there's a load of updates to it. And sort of the internals of the Idris. There's Idris boarding going on here as well. Is this something you're really looking forward to? Or have you been burnt by Xenothreat being broken too many times before? I
think, yeah, a little bit. I like it. I like doing it. But I'm still kind of like... It's just something's going to go wrong.
Sometimes playing this sort of stuff in Star Citizen I'm looking forward to can be draining, because you're like, and it's crashed, and the event's not progressing to the next phase, and there's not enough people here to do it. I have to find another server, or it's not even running on this server. So just getting to the stuff and doing the stuff I want to do specifically can be quite time consuming, can be quite a mission in itself. And sort of like an hour and a half after you want it to start, you're then starting, and then there's a crash. You're just sort of like, I'm done. Hopefully, Xenothreat's going to be in a good state, and they look to have fixed a lot of the desync and lag and AI and NPC problems. Let's see if that actually holds true when they are running that event. Something else we got in June, Alien Week. They'll sell a load of alien ships. They don't sell alien ships really at Fleet Week. Alien Week, we might see some new concepts or straight to flyyables. People have been talking about this Mirai Fat Fury that might turn up. Are you expecting or hoping for anything during Alien Week?
No idea.
Do you like alien ships at all?
Not really, no.
Me neither, really.
I much prefer the aesthetics and stuff of human ships.
Yeah, because I'm a big fan of Drake and Crusader. I mean, I like the look of like stuff like the Prowler, and I like the idea of the Bounty Merchantman. I love on paper the Bounty Merchantman, but yeah, not so into the alien ships compared to some of the human manufacturers. So yeah, that's it. That's just sort of updates for the podcast. Really interested to know if you bought anything during Fleet Week. What do you feel about the Ironclad Assault and the Ironclad? When do you think they're actually going to turn up? They're supposed to turn up before the Kraken. That's what it sounded like, because they said they're going to be using these to help build out the Kraken, which would suggest that they'll build this before the Kraken. What do you think about CIG retiring the Hornet Mark 1s? Do you think that's a good idea? Do you think that's interesting? Do you think that's just a clever way of getting you to buy the Mark 2s? Or you can't buy the Mark 1s anymore. You can only buy the more expensive Mark 2s. Or quickly buy the Mark 1s. And did you expect CIG to be making as much money as they are this year again? Do you think it's going to be a record-breaking year? Or do you think we're actually going to see a bit of a slowdown in funding? Because I think it's sort of worked out about the same as the previous year. Now it's around the same sort of level of funding as 2023 at the moment. And are you excited for Alpha 3.23.2 and those sort of changes with cargo coming? Whatever your thoughts and questions, chuck them in the comments below. You should also check out Beam, which is eye tracking all for your webcam, and it's totally workable in Star Citizen. We've got a link down below for that. We also got a link down below for nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Oh, best Zin, is it the best VPN that I use?
It is the best VPN that you use.
It is, and it gives you great accessibility, security, and privacy on the interwebs. nordvpn.com/BoredGamer. Check out the links below. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
She's great. She loves NordVPN too. May in Star Citizen is about fleets and Fleet Week and flying with friends, and we've partnered up with Lunar Wolves, a Star Citizen org, to give away a fleet of ships. Commenting on any of my videos during the month not only gets you a chance to win a Spirit C1, but also a Constellation Andromeda, a Vanguard Sentinel, and a Corsair, courtesy of Lunar Wolves. They'll each be going out to a different winner chosen randomly from the video comments. But wait, there is more. Sign up to the Lunar Wolves recruitment page, link down below, for a chance for even more ships, including an RSI Polaris with lifetime insurance and a Hornet F7C Mark II. Winners of those will be selected randomly from eligible org signups. Lunar Wolves welcome all that share their passion for adventure and love of Star Citizen. You can learn more about them on their org page or at lunarwolves.org. If you would like to further support our channel, please like, subscribe, comment, share these videos. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, and I would love you to, please consider becoming a Patreon or clicking that join button under my videos. It goes a huge way in allowing us to make daily content and keep the channel going. You'll get some exclusive content from that as well. Anytime Zin and I can actually put it out, as well as help evolve the channel with polls and suggestions and that sort of stuff. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and have a great May. It's going to be a good one.